Hello there, Sarah from 17 once again, introducing you to my Max Payne 3 hardcore difficulty video walkthrough. This is chapter 6, a dame, a dork and a drunk. And we are thrown into a shitstorm right at the start of this mission, and this is horrible that Rockstar did this. It throws you into the middle of a room with about 5 dudes staring at you, and it gives you a fucking Uzi that is not very accurate or damaging, and expects you to deal with them. I mean, look at this right now. I'm just like shooting everything I'm worth into that guy and he didn't die. Ridiculous. But the best way to deal with it is to rush straight forward and go up against cover on these shelves. Every other situation, diving around like a psycho, just doesn't work that well. And this is a pretty tough level, this, guys, so you want to try and be hoarding as many painkillers as you can for the hard sections coming up. And the strategies I'm going to show you will get you through those rooms without the need of painkillers, but it's always better to have them. And just look everywhere. Look everywhere you can in these rooms. The painkillers can be so difficult to see because they're hidden away. And they were the same on the old game, and they have introduced the glow to make them easier to see. But they haven't made them as plentiful as they were on previous Max Paynes. Painkillers were everywhere on the old Max Paynes. If you went off into a sub-room, you know, like into a little room that were a janitorial cupboard, there would always be a closet filled with like 4 of them or something. And on the old games you could open lockers, and if you opened all the lockers you'd find 3 or 4 painkillers. And the level of interactivity that the old Max Payne games had, this game doesn't. You can't turn taps on and things, I don't think. I might not have pressed the right button when you're near them, but on the old game you could mess with everything, and I don't think this has that. And admittedly, I haven't been able to take the time because I've been playing it, you know, under this, you know, impetus to try and get the guide up. But I'm definitely going to be playing around to see what is so different between the games, because there's a lot that's been lost in translation, and there are certain key parts of a Max Payne game that aren't in this that should have been. And if you're wondering what I mean, there are certain tropes that happen in a Max Payne game that have to happen, that have always happened. One of these is, for instance, a torture scene. The first game, Max got slapped around with a baseball bat. The second game, he gets slapped around in the funhouse by the bad guy of that game. And this is a trope that has always been in a Max Payne game, and this kind of doesn't have that. There's moments when he gets slapped around a little bit, and for the most, he gets completely messed up throughout the adventure. But there's no direct torture sequence that we've always seen in a Max Payne game. The next one is probably a polarizing topic: dream sequences. The dream sequences on the first game were insane. We'd never really seen anything like that from a game, and I don't think anybody wanted to see it ever again because the way that you had to get through them was ridiculous. And there was some really cool ideas. The whole corridor stretching out really long like they do in Dreams, I thought that was awesome. Just the way that everything was messed up, and it was an opportunity to give you some exposition and at the same time give you something different than just jumping and shooting people. I thought that was a brilliant way to mix up the game. I'm with everybody when I say following blood trails with screaming babies was fucking horrific, but I was also the person that realised on Max Payne 1 that if you turned left in that maze of bloodstains where you had to do all the jumping, you could just jump across to the left and land at the exit, and it was one jump and you'd done the entire section, so I never got stuck. But this is a pretty tough room, this one coming up, and the cover is really bad. The only cover that doesn't seem to completely blow out are these shelves that I'm on here, and you want to use that to your ability. You kind of need to go into the next fight that's directly after this encounter with as much life as you can and as much ammo as you can, because it's going to make the next fight easier. This is much harder to do than you'd think, because this is not an easy room. This is some of the toughest sections of the game just because the cover's bad. But try and pick up as much ammo as you can, try to use your weapons sparingly, and don't worry if you use too many painkillers because the room is filled with them. It's just, you can't get to the painkillers in the room during a gunfight because you die too quick and there's too many people shooting you. This is the checkpoint that I thought was going to be terrible anyway, people. As soon as this cutscene comes out, we're up against some wooden paneling that does not last very long, and what you want to do here is you want to move towards the right hand side of the room. I barely have any ammo in anything but my Glock. I shoot dodge, I come over here, get into this cover, kill as many people as I can from where I am, and I need to get into the room to my right. So I run, I go into slow-mo, and we want to get right into this corner of the server room. But before I can, I get hit by him Luckily enough, I can pick him up with the kill cam move, and then just put your shoulder to the left-hand wall. And from here, we have our backs against the wall. The only way they can come from us is directly in front, and all you have to do is eke your way around, shooting them as they come to you. And this is the easiest way to do this room. If you want to stand in that room and dive about and shoot people and use the cover there isn't there, go for it. I did it on hard, it fucking sucked. I wasn't doing it on hardcore. This is the best way to do this room. But anyhow, the dream sequences, they were in 1 and 2, they weren't in this one, and I'm kinda sad that they weren't, because that makes Max Payne to me, and a dream sequence doesn't, you know, intrinsically have to be bad. It's just the ones on the first game kind of sucked. The ones on the second game, because the first game kind of sucked, Remedy changed them so that they were just kind of more like puzzles and you know, exposition while, you know, traversing some strange dreamscapes, and I liked them. They were different, and this game could have done with them, because Max is drinking more than he ever did before. He's popping more pain pills with drink than he ever has before, and it'd have been nice to see that effect. Once you've killed everybody in the room, make sure you run around and pick up those precious painkillers, because there's another awkward courtyard coming up with a heavy gunner and some bad cover, so just be aware of that. But that wasn't in it at all, and I thought it kind of could have. There's others, but at this moment in time I can't think of them. When I do, I'll mention them throughout the videos, but there are things in a Max Payne game that have to be a certain way for me personally. Like, oh, I've just remembered one. Enemies talking. When you went through Max Payne 1 and 2, before you entered a room that was filled with dudes shooting, they would have the stupidest conversations, and some of them went on for longer than the cutscenes. They'd literally taken the time to give these enemies that you were just going to fill with holes amazing lines. Like, they mentioned the Matrix, and they talked about all sorts of stuff. They talked about things that were happening on the televisions. They talked about lots of things. I think there's maybe 1 or 2 moments of this game where you hear the enemies talk, and it's generally cutscene related. It's not the same. Moving us on swiftly to the TV shows. There are TV shows in this game. They are done in, you know, the tongue-in-cheek way that they were done before. They're just not done to the same level, because Rockstar can do humour, but they don't do dark humour like Remedy do. Remedy is significantly better at eliciting that just, you know, completely macabre sentiments that they get from those old games. And the fact that the advertisements are Spanish and the TV shows are Spanish is kind of funny at first, but it's not fast show funny. It's not, you know, mucho scotcho, para ser tu curso, Chris Waddle. It's not that. It's not making up your own words and then saying silly English words amongst them. So it's not quite as funny, because the novelty wears off after a while, and some of it is kind of stupid and kind of interesting, but it's not Dick Justice. It's not, you know, the Pink Flamingo. It's not these programs that we know and love. It's not, you know, Address Unknown. It's not these stupid self-aware, you know, taking the piss out of exactly what it is, breaking the fourth wall moments that the old game had. And it's probably due to the fact that this game's much more serious. It is a lot more down to earth. But, I mean, that's what makes Max Payne. It really is. It's the things that make it for me. And don't get me wrong, this is a fantastic game. This is a fantastic Max Payne game. But there are things that are missing that I would have hoped Rockstar would have done. Because there's paying homage, and you know, and there's completely changing the feel. But this section here, anyhow, this is pretty hard, this. Kill these 2 guys that come with the machine gunner as fast as you can. You need to clean them up quickly, and then you need to use the rest of your bullet time to shoot this guy in their helmet. If you can knock his helmet off, you can kill him really quickly. If you can't, it's going to be a longer fight than it needs to be. This cover will take a pounding, but it will also get you injured. And if you have painkillers and he puts you into the death mode, don't worry, it's the easiest way to kill the heavy gunners. If you're in the death mode, your bullets seem to do so much more damage than they normally do, and you'll kill that guy super quickly. But once you've done that, you have done the hardest part of this level. The rest of it is really simple. So, you know, congratulations, and onwards and upwards. So I'm going to run around this lobby looking for items, picking up weapons, but all you have to do is go to the elevator. I do this a lot because I'm always looking for shit, and I'm a bit fussy with weapons. Like, I hate it how he drops guns that have ammunition when you pick up a different weapon, when you've got an empty pistol on you. Well, I wish it'd, you know, prioritise things like that. It seems so strange. But thanks for watching, guys. It means a lot. I do hope it's helping. And If you're that guy that's disliking my videos, congratulations on getting to the end. At least you're disliking with integrity. But you take care now.